People of power, welcome to Mount Fitness MBS Ministry, where I am your host, Brother Minister Mongoose. And if you're tuning in for the first time, guys, please be advised that this is not a traditional type of ministry. This is a holistic mind, body, and spirit ministry. So it's a different kind of ministry, guys. And oh, by the way, I'm also a different kind of minister. For more information about what I mean by those two things, please stay tuned to the end of the video. But for now, I'm going to take right off into today's topic. But I do want to, again, take a brief moment to welcome you guys, man, and to let you guys know that if your heart is in the right place, then, I love you. If no one's told you that today, or somebody maybe told you that, I don't know, but it was kind of empty. Even though I don't know you, I may never meet you, may never talk to you. If your heart is in the right place, I really and truly love you. You are loved. Oh, and if somebody or quite a few people have already told you that and it came from a real, sincere, and meaningful place, then let me second, third, or fifth that notion, whatever it is, or that motion, I should say. You're loved, man. You're loved. Here you are, standing tall in the midst of it all. Your heart's in the right place. You refuse to surrender your soul. You refuse to partake in the shenanigans of a world that has lost its way. And you are loved. You are loved. So, receive that, guys. Without further ado, I'm going to get right off into today's topic, because it's not only are you loved, you are in fact the light of the world. That's what today's topic is, guys. We're talking about the light of the world. And the light of the world is literally you. Those of you whose hearts are in the right place and you refuse to yield. I mean, you get opportunities to join the circus, the narcissistic circus, pardon me. You have opportunities that, if you only, sacrifice your values, look the other way when it comes to your integrity, you could get that raise. You could get that spouse. You could have all these clowns, stop taking shots at you. If you just, join the circus. Set aside what really, really matters to you. Goodness, wholesome, honesty, authenticity. Every day that you get up and you don't do that, you represent, and you don't yield to those things, you literally represent this light. And even though the light is you, very literally, it's not you in that because of you, it's that makes you the light. No, it's not who you are, it's whose you are. His light dwells within you. We're going to be talking about that, because another word for light is knowledge. Another word for light is knowledge. And for those of you guys, I'm not sure, some of you guys out there can maybe notice one or two, gray strings of hair in the beard somewhere. But on a serious note, for those of you who are beyond a certain age group, you can easily remember this saying that whenever somebody was trying to show you something, trying to help you figure out something, get a better understanding of something, whenever you finally, when it finally clicked, or even when they were still trying to get you to understand it, they would say, this is how you do it, this is how it goes. You see the light? When it was imparting that knowledge with you, knowledge is likened unto the light, and light is likened unto the darkness. Conversely speaking, the lack of knowledge is likened unto darkness. I kind of feel like I may have just misspoke a little bit a couple of seconds ago. But the light in and of itself is likened unto knowledge, and knowledge is likened unto the light. Opposite of light slash opposite of knowledge is ignorance. And ignorance is likened unto the darkness. When you don't know, or if you turn a blind eye, that's living in a life of ignorance. You don't know, there's no light there, there's no understanding there, and you're living a life of darkness. But for this message, we're going to be talking pretty much just about the light. And say, those of you who carry this light, a very intricate, a very fundamental part of that light is knowledge. Your eyes have been opened to various truths, various insight, various perspectives. And it's imperative that you continue to move forward in that light by way of the constant pursuit of knowledge. The old timers used to also say that if a man or woman leaves home in search of all the knowledge in the universe, or you can go ahead and break his plate. You can go ahead and break her plate. She ain't coming back. He ain't coming back. Because knowledge is like numbers. I don't care how high you count. You can't never finish counting because you can always add one more. You can always add 5 more, whatever. You can't get it all. It's infinite. So it's our assignment, it's our duty to realize that, just like if I was to use a school, a grade school, a high school analogy. When we're in the 3rd grade, once we master all that knowledge, it's not over with. We got to go to the 4th grade and the 5th and college and so forth and so on. So too is the case when it comes to us continuing to grow in this light, continuing to grow in the knowledge. The more knowledge you have, the more your light shines, the more your eyes are open. So keep pushing on in faith and continue. The good book also says, study to show yourself worthy. You don't just get to get this light and, I'm cool. It's nice and sunny in my backyard and, this is enough and that's it. We have to keep researching, keep studying, keep looking for discoveries, keep praying, keep growing, keep evolving in the knowledge. This is why a lot of people hate you, because not only is knowledge the light, but knowledge is also powerful, and yet it's also a threat to the powers that be. The number one thing that the powers that be is counting on to keep their little horse and pony show going is the ignorance of the masses. People that just don't move in knowledge. They're not interested in knowledge. We're going to be giving a couple of reasons why people aren't interested in knowledge. But the good book makes it very clear that my people perish for a lack of knowledge. Doesn't say that they perish for, a lack of money. Doesn't say they perish for a lack of prayer, not for a lack of influence. They don't perish for a lack of support. They don't perish because of the haters. They don't perish because of their own shortcomings and mistakes. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. Knowledge of themselves and who they are. They don't have the knowledge there. They lack that knowledge. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. A lack of knowledge when it comes to their purpose. A lack of knowledge when it comes to the truths about the world that we live in and the unseen hands that's always pulling the strings, deciding who gets what label this group wear, all these different goofy laws that they pass. A lack of knowledge about what's really going on in this world. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. It's a lack of knowledge of the power of one's prayer. It's a lack of knowledge of one's own potential, one's own power through this thing we call God. A lack of knowledge is what is at the apex of all of this dysfunction that's taking place and slowly but surely continuing to engulf more and more people across the planet. If you're hand on heart honest, you know quite a few people who once were good, clean, upstanding, integrous people. Their hearts were always in the right place. They were kind, they were caring, compassionate, generous, all these things. But you look at it right now today, as they continue to turn that blind eye to more growth, more evolution, more research, more study. And that spiritual infestation of the soul has corrupted them. And you can look in their eyes and see it. They've joined the circus. You know it, I know it, and they know it. They're not those loving, caring people anymore. Because again, in third grade, that knowledge, that love, that kindness, that awareness, whatever, that courage, that self-discipline, that was great when you were for your third or 10th grade, whatever. But then when it came to the 11th and 12th grade, you had to continue to grow. And if you're not moving ahead, then you're falling behind, period. So when these truths were being made to friends, family, co-workers, society at large, and they turned the blind eye to them, they automatically planted the seeds for their degression, their devolution. But for those of us who carry the light, we got to push on. We are the light of the world, period. We can't afford to be taking days off and times off and weeks off. Hey, listen, every play, every minute, every moment, every time you dot your door, every time you show up at work, you go to the grocery store, you carry your garbage out and sit it on the sidewalk. Every move that you make is fourth and goal. There's 0.1 second on the clock and you're on the free throw line. You're going to get a chance to win the game or blow the game, all based on your knowledge and your ability to let that light shine. We all know that knowledge is power. We all know that. This is one of the fundamental laws of the universe. He who controls the knowledge is vastly superior in an extremely more advantageous position than those who just don't know. They just don't have the knowledge. I know how to do this project at work. I have the knowledge on how to do it. That guy, that girl doesn't. Who do you think is going to get the promotion? We know that knowledge is power. We learned this in elementary school. We see it day in and day out in our lives. So then what's the reason why there's such an incredible absence of knowledge in today's society? What's the reason? As I mentioned, knowledge is painful. That's the reason. And knowledge is also a threat. And when you move in knowledge, you become a threat to those who are committed to ignorance / a lack of knowledge / the darkness. You become a threat And the fiery darts began to get slung your way, fired your way from all across the pendulum, all across existence. Friends, family, co-worker, goofies at the grocery store, goofies at Saks Fifth Avenue, goofies at the ball game, outings, wherever you go. Because the more knowledge you take in, the brighter that light gets. Pardon me. And it's unmistakable. It's undeniable. But most people have decided that, you know what? Because it's a threat, I don't want to be no threat. I just want to pay my bills on time. I just want to try to make the most of this relationship. I just want to go and mingle in and out of society, put the blinders on. I don't want to be looked at as a threat. These are some reasons why knowledge is absent in today's society. And this is sad beyond all measure. Because again, maybe you guys can see, I love saying that, guys. But on a serious note, because back in the days, man, we didn't have computers. We didn't have this technology where you could just Google and get some knowledge. You can just, whatever your search engine is, you can just get the knowledge. Back in the day, it was just libraries. Books and libraries. Now knowledge is available right at one's fingertips. / power is available right at one's fingertips. But people don't want knowledge. That pain. They see you and me and those like us, those who carry this knowledge. And let me pivot real quick, guys. When I say knowledge, I am not talking intellect. And there is an enormous difference. I'm talking about knowledge you know. And the knowledge that I'm talking about is the knowledge that comes from on high. We're not talking about intellect. The good book says, I will use the foolish people and the foolish things to confound the wise. We're not talking intellect. It's these downloads that you get from Heavenly Father that causes you to pray, to study, to research, to analyze. And yes, there's a component, there's an element of intellect involved in it. How could there not be? But I'm not talking about, hey man, look, this guy's got a PhD. This girl's a scholar. She's got Harvard grad, We're not talking about that. So people don't want true knowledge. You know something. It's painful. Knowledge is painful, man. We all know that. Just as much as we know that knowledge is power, knowledge is also painful. And unfortunately, and this is why we're always saying, hey man, there's only a few of us that are going to make it into this thing that we call the kingdom of heaven. Now that few is not, it's a small amount. It's a small amount compared to the masses. The overwhelming majority of people are not going to enter into what we refer to as the kingdom of heaven. This is why we say that, because the overwhelming majority of people are going to run away from the knowledge and all the hate and the fiery darts that people fire your way as a result of you just having knowledge. People are going to walk away from that. And some of that pain, as I begin to try and speed this up, guys, some of that pain is, again, the name calling, people prejudging you, people misunderstanding you intentionally or otherwise, people labeling you as arrogant, a coward, or whatever the case may be. It's this labeling, and people don't want that. Most people don't want that. Most people just want to sit back and enjoy the show. But you, the believer, whose God-given responsibility it is to keep pushing forward and to keep growing and evolving and making whatever changes and enduring whatever hardships you got to endure as you make these changes in accordance to that new knowledge that has been ushered in / downloaded from him. You have to keep moving on. And you become this person. We become these people who we're not in the audience enjoying the show anymore. We've gone backstage by way of this knowledge. We've gone backstage at and taken an up close look at the illusion, the so-called magic trick, where, you know what, the magician pulls a rabbit out of his hat or a rabbit out of his sleeve. He put this person in a box and saws him in half. He caused this person to levitate. Well, we went backstage by way of this knowledge, and we realized, oh, you see those strings up there in the rafters? They've been painted a certain color so that the audience can't see them, but it's not really magic. They're just somebody up in the rafters pulling up these strings. Oh, that rabbit that comes up out of his sleeve? Yeah, we've seen him, how he sticks it way up under his arm and puts it on a string, and then he rolls his sleeves up and says there's no rabbit. And then, like abracadabra, then all of a sudden a rabbit comes out of his sleeve. We've seen the illusion up close. We've seen, he cuts a little bottom in the hat, or he cuts a little hole out of he makes an inner compartment in the bottom of the hat, and the hat, and he slips a little rabbit in there. And then when he says, see, nothing's in the hat, you're not seeing the bottom of the hat. You're just seeing that, you're not seeing that concealed compartment. So we've seen all the magic tricks. So we've seen the magic tricks and how they operate, and you can't go back and pretend that you don't know. So now you're sitting in the audience, this world view, and you know how it all works. It's not thrilling. It's not exhilarating. It's not fascinating. It's not fun. It's not exciting. And so you're just sitting there, and everybody else is oohing and ahhing and awing and blown away. How it's real magic, whatever they're saying. And you're just sitting there, not being rude, not being, disconsiderate, anything. You're just sitting there. And just sitting there while everybody else is following the show, you come off weird. I come off weird. See, people don't want this kind of knowledge. And as a result of them running away from the truth of the knowledge, people have been turned into a force of death and destruction on themselves. It's almost like saying, and obviously I mean this it's just a characterization, but it's almost like saying, hey, somebody, has gotten totally out of shape because they don't want to go through the pain of sweating on the treadmill or lifting dumbbells or whatever the case may be. And that's working against them internally. That's going to cost them in the long run in terms of their health, their physical health. So again, people have just succumbed to this. You know what? It's safe inside the box. It's fuzzy. It's wuzzy. It's familiar right inside this box. This is what everybody else doing. I don't want to be anything than everybody else. Nobody wants to face the knowledge, guys. That's just a couple of reasons as to why. Knowledge is painful. Knowledge is painful. You know, when you know, oh man, there's all kinds of changes you're required to make. You're not laughing at the show anymore. You got to go home, or you got to try to make changes in the way you view. You don't even want to go to the so-called magic trick anymore. When you know what the truth is, you might have to put down those cigarettes. You might have to put down those potato chips. You might have to walk away from that relationship once the truth has been made known to you that those people are plotting on you. You may have to change your world of view once you know the truth about the different races, the different religions, whatever the case may be. And that's not the easiest thing in the world to do when you've been beholding to these beliefs, these mindsets, these notions, these ideas about, the different races, the politics, even religion. You know how many people will turn their eyes if they get the factual, indisputable truth about their religion? They won't embrace it. And I'm just using more characterizations out, putting more characterizations out there. They're going to keep going on with that religion because it's, regardless of the truth about it, it's a fake, a facade, or whatever. That's what they're familiar with. That's what they've staked their whole life on. The same thing when it comes to sometimes a person's spouse or whatever. You know how many people will not leave their spouse because they've been with them for 20 or 30 years, or how much they love them, and somebody's trying to tell them, hey man, your spouse is doing this, man. Here's the evidence that you can see, the videotape of your spouse doing that. People don't want to see that videotape. It's easier to just be ignorant. These are the days and times that we're living in, and yet you, the chosen ones, the 144,000, the people of power, this is what keeps causing you to withstand all of their fiery darts. The knowledge. This is what makes you impervious to their lies, their traps, their deceptions, their betrayal, their mockery. The knowledge. Keep moving on in faith. Keep hoping on in love. Continue to pursue, to find, to embrace, and to ultimately become the knowledge. We were all, none of us was born, in the life of Christ in the sense that he was the only one who didn't commit a sin. We all were born into the darkness. But then we start to hear about, and I'm not talking from a religious standpoint, but if religion was the way that ignited or activated your awakening, so be it, whatever the case may have been. We were all in the darkness. But then we start to really, really hear about the light. We became interested, like, okay, there's more to it than this. I thought this is what it was all about. We heard about the light. We became interested in the light. The light being synonymous with the knowledge. And then one day we said, okay, well, I'm going to go in pursuit of that knowledge. And just the mere pursuit of that knowledge led us away from friends, family, loved ones, belief systems, things that we had to change within ourselves, And we just kept pursuing that truth, that knowledge, that light. And then one day, we found it. We found the light. We found the truth about all these different things about ourselves, world government, the different races, the political system, global warming, all these different things. We found the knowledge and we embraced it. And then ultimately, as we continued to grow, as I mentioned, then we became the light. Like you are the walking, living light. You're the walking, living, breathing light of the world. And yet your journey to continue to grow and evolve in the light / in the knowledge, that journey still persists. I'm going to get out of here, guys, but I just want to encourage you guys to know that you are the light of the world. Can't be the light without the knowledge, and can't be knowledge without the light. You're the light of the world. Make sure that you walk like it. Make sure that you talk like it. Make sure that you think like it. Make sure that you act like it. Make sure that you plan like it. Make sure that your thoughts, your intentions, and your emotions are in alignment with the light of the world that you are. Make sure that your behavior, make sure the way that you comport and deport yourself lines up with the light of the world that you are. Now, if you've never knew these truths, or if you knew these truths and you for whatever reason lost your way, there's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. There's nothing to feel bad about. Nobody got on a bicycle the first time and then paddled all through the neighborhood. Nobody got behind the wheel of a car and drove from Chicago to LA. It's a process. If you'd like some information on how this ministry can be of assistance to you in terms of helping you embrace these truths, in terms of helping you continue to refine and grow on your path of knowledge, discovery, and continuing to let that light shine brighter and brighter by way of God, reach out to this ministry. I love the opportunity to speak with you guys. But that knowledge is what the Bible says when you're not here to be a part of the world. You're here to have a renewed, changed mind. Is that not where the knowledge is held, in the mind? Yes, it filters down through the heart, through the soul, and through the spirit. But we have to know. It all starts with us knowing. So reach out to this ministry if I could be of assistance to you guys. Let me talk briefly about the ministry. I'm at 33 minutes. So again, as I mentioned, this is a holistic mind, body, and spirit ministry. This ministry is promoting mental, physical, and spiritual health and wellness. This ministry provides you with real-world services in each of those different categories in an effort to help you achieve this goal of holistic, mental, physical, and spiritual health and wellness. If that at all sounds interesting to you, then I invite you to please watch a video that's titled MBS Service Tutorial. That's going to lay out the services and talk about them, go into detail with them, go into detail about them in terms of what they consist of, how they're implemented, and how they can be beneficial to you. If you have any further questions, any follow-up questions, please hit the email link down in the description box. I'd love the opportunity to speak with you further. I also would invite you guys to please visit the physical fitness branch of the ministry located at mountfitnessmbs.com. Again, hit the email link if you have any further questions. I would ask that you guys would do me kind of a personal courtesy, and that's to watch a totally different video that's going to talk about the origins of the ministry, the actual origins, not the services. But more importantly, what it's going to do is allow me the opportunity to glorify this thing we call God. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. And if you or someone you know would like or maybe even need that courtesy reminder that he is still on the throne, he's still performing miracles, then that video might be exactly what the doctor ordered. Check it out, give it a like, share it if you would, please. Going to give, again, that video is titled My Testimony and Disclosure. Check it out. I thank you in advance for all of that, guys. If you got any value out of today's message, then please give back to the ministry. There's several things you can do to give back to the ministry. It all starts with me personally. It starts with asking that you guys please hit the share button. That's the most important thing that you can do. Help share this word. As ministers, we are ordained to go out and spread the gospel, the good news. So hit the share button. It would mean an enormous amount of importance to the ministry, to myself personally, but it may also mean even more to the person that receives the message right at the time that you share it. Please follow that up if the Holy Spirit moves you to do so by hitting the thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm, the bell icon to receive notification, and subscribing to the channel if you aren't already subscribed. If you'd like to make a monetary donation to show your thanks, your support, your generosity towards this ministry, then I'm going to leave a Cash App link down in the description box. And remember that if you send $1, if you send $100, you're still sending out a powerful signal to the universe that you believe this message has value in these days and times. And the Heavenly Father will bless you accordingly. Every time you plant good seed in good ground, you will receive an abundant harvest, shaken down, pressed together, and running over. Receive that by faith as I continue to receive by faith your continued love, support, and generosity. Last but not least, guys, remember, it's holistic mind, body, and spirit ministry. So whatever is taking place in your life, your personal situation, or society at large, and I'm not minimizing any of it, but whatever is taking place, you have been anointed to make sure that your mind, your body, and your spirit remains beautiful, vibrant, and as healthy as possible. This ministry has been anointed to assist you in such a goal. Reach out if I can be of assistance. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, I love all you guys whose hearts are in the right place. Thanks for all the love and all the support. I am Brother Minister Mongoose. Pardon me. And I will holla back. Peace.